I recognize member for Surrey, Newton.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we all know the safety and security of our neighbourhoods is becoming #1 priority and #1 concern in many of our communities. Mr. Speaker, when we always worry walking around in our own neighbourhoods, getting mugged, assaulted, while taking a walk in our neighbourhood, or while using our public facilities, when you hear shots fired on a regular basis, innocent people getting killed in their own homes, schools hit by flying bullets, and schools in lockdown positions on a regular basis, or bullets flying through your own house walls, narrowly missing the people inside. And if you don't feel safe in your own home, Mr. Speaker, nothing else matters. It's that simple. Mr. Speaker, in many BC communities, they feel and they actually face the violent crimes on the rise. People, the Minister of Technology chirping away out there without looking at the stats, Mr. Speaker. He should be looking at in his own backyard where, Mr. Speaker, I'll get into the stats, Mr. Speaker, so that he will understand, so they start representing his members better with some facts, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when that happened, the crime continued to rise in many communities in BC. People start to lose faith in our crime-fighting strategies. They started to lose trust in our police, Mr. Speaker, and that is not very good. Their fears are not unfounded. And for the benefit of the Minister of Technology, who is from Surrey, Mr. Speaker, these are the facts. These are the facts, Mr. Speaker, by Stat Canada. BC crime rate in 2014, that's the last one available, increased over 2013 by 2.4%. BC crime severity index went up over the previous year and stands at 37% higher than the national average. He should know better, Mr. Speaker. He was a police officer. He should know better. Mr. Speaker, violent crime severity rate stands at 77% in BC, which again is 10% higher than the national average, Mr. Speaker. Those are the facts. Those are not my numbers. Those are not anybody else's number, Mr. Speaker, so he should start to pay attention. No wonder nothing gets done, because the government side of the representatives don't take these things seriously. Mr. Speaker, take a look at in Surrey, where the minister is from. Let's take a look at that, Mr. Speaker. If you look at the quarter after quarter comparison, 2015 over 2014, Mr. Speaker, these are the facts from Surrey RCMP, Mr. Speaker. Let's take a look, Mr. Speaker. Violent crimes total. Quarter 4 compared to quarter 4 of 2014, 27% up, Mr. Speaker. And for the year, 36% are up. Mr. Speaker, I can't believe that the minister, I hope the minister stand up and make those statements here in the House, Mr. Speaker, not chirping away out there. Attempted murders, Mr. Speaker. Quarter 4 in 2015 compared to the previous quarter, 400% up. Mr. Speaker, robbery, up. Mr. Speaker, sexual assault, 65% up. Assaults, 10% up. Abduction, kidnapping, 69% up. Mr. Speaker, when you actually, that's not just the quarter or last quarter compared to the last quarter of 2014. Let's take a look, quarter 3 and quarter 2. Each quarter 3 in 2015 compared to the quarter 3 of 2014, quarter 2 of 2015 compared to 2014, Mr. are gone up significantly, not just 1 or 2%, Mr. Each quarter is gone up from the previous quarter. And for the year, Mr. Speaker, take a look at these numbers, 2015 compared to 2014. And I hope the minister is paying attention to these numbers. RCMP numbers, Mr. Speaker, 36% violent crimes are up. Attempted murders, 211% up. Sexual assault, 40% up. and assaults 19% up, abduction and kidnapping 65%. Those are the facts, Mr. Speaker, and I hope that the minister will take those and go home and start to pay attention, Mr. Speaker. And let's take a look at, Mr. Speaker, what is happening. Why is that happening? In three key component areas to fight crime, Mr. Speaker, that is in prevention, in enforcement, and in deterrence, we're failing in each of those areas. When you look at prevention, the parents who see that the children are going sideways in grade 6 or 7, Mr. Speaker, they are on their own. You go to the school, teachers don't have resources, Mr. Speaker. A wraparound program in Surrey, Rob Rye, I have a lot of respect for, Mr. Speaker, does a superb job. The Premier went in there for a photo op, Mr. Speaker, gave some money for a photo op purpose, Mr. Speaker, left half of the kids, at-risk kids, off the list, who are on the waiting, Mr. Speaker. Even today, Mr. Speaker, they are helping about 100 at-risk kids right now, and there are about 40 kids who should be in the program right now are left out on the waiting list, Mr. Speaker. Enforcement, neglect by many authorities for over 15 years, Mr. Speaker, left us not giving us enough police protection, Mr. Speaker. Finally, 100 police officers are coming. That is after community and the opposition and everyone concerned, Mr. Speaker, put pressure and told in last election, in the city elections, that crime is #1 concern. They announced 100 police officers. Mr. Speaker, when they even arrive 100, all 100 of them, we still, our ratio of population versus police will be lower than Vancouver. Before those 100 police officers, Mr. Speaker, we were number 32 in major communities in BC, Mr. Speaker. That's not acceptable, Mr. Speaker. That's why, Mr. Speaker, drug deals in every neighborhood out there goes unchecked, Mr. Speaker, and that is fertile ground for inviting more violence. Thank you.
Thank you. I recognize the member for Surrey Panorama.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I would like to thank the Honourable Member for putting forward this motion. And before I begin, I'm certain that I can speak on behalf of all members of this House by saying that each and every one of us were shocked and saddened by the personal loss suffered by the Honourable Member due to a senseless act of violence in April. But every act of violence hurts us in one way or another. It hurts us all. Whether it's immediate family members who are inflicted with the terrible pain and suffering, whether it's the broader community, as has been mentioned by the member, it shakes our sense of community. It shatters our sense of security within our community. And this is an issue that we all must address. That's why last week's speech from the throne made a specific mention of the fact that we have too many mothers that are mourning their sons who didn't come home. The safety of our families and communities is a priority for each and every one of us, and it is not just limited to the Lower Mainland, whether Surrey or Delta. The government recognizes that we are dealing with criminal underworld across the province that attempts to use violence in order to, in effect, to try and silence others. Criminals want to discourage people from coming forward to police with vital information. We also know that criminals and violent offenders don't stay within municipal boundaries. With the Integrated Homicide Investigation Team and the Combined Forces Anti-Gang Unit, neither does police, Honourable Speaker. The Integrated Homicide Investigation Team, or IHIT as it's normally referred to, works with several municipal partners as well as 28 RCMP detachments across BC. IHIT also utilizes the Real-Time Intelligence Centre to monitor and offer real-time assistance during unfolding serious crime incidents in Surrey, Delta, as well as the entire rest of the province of British Columbia. The centre provides timely, intelligent assistance to local investigators, and it comes right at their fingertips in their police cruisers. It's a system that is so efficient that it is being studied by law enforcement agencies across North America. Our community has come up with a number of collective responses as well, Honourable Speaker. We launched the SMART program, which stands for Surrey Mobilization and Resilience Table. It addresses social issues before they become police problems. This model has been established in other parts of Canada, but SMART is the first risk-driven intervention model in British Columbia. Other initiatives to proactively improve public safety in Surrey include the RAP program, which the member referred to. This is a partnership between the Surrey School District, the Surrey RCMP, and the City of Surrey, who also helps to keep at-risk youth out of gangs and criminal lifestyle. The RAP program offers a comprehensive, collaborative support program for students who exhibit signs of gang association behavior. The goal is to positively attach youth to their school, which is their community, and the home by building trusting and positive relationships. There are now over 100 youth enrolled in Surrey RAP program, nearly double the amount from 1 year ago. Furthermore, last April, Public Safety Canada announced that approximately $3.5 million in funding for 5 years for the Surrey Gang Reduction Program. The funding is targeted to Surrey RAP and other programs that will provide support for approximately 400 at-risk youth during between the ages of 11 and 19 years of age. In addition, Honourable Speaker, last April, the government announced a $5 million investment in programs focused on crime prevention, ending violence against women. We have numbers of programs in our communities. Last week, we celebrated the Moose Hide with First Nations. We have the Rakhi program within the Punjabi community, which means love and respect. We recognize that violence is a challenge. It's a challenge throughout this community. And I think, Mr. Speaker, one of the things that we might also want to do in the midst of this is recognize that we have that even when we watch our televisions and we watch Hollywood and the rest of those things. But I'm pleased to report, Mr. Speaker, that in 2015 versus 2014, we had over 1,860 more arrests for violent offenses. We had more than 4,445 additional charges for violence offense. In Toronto, Mr. Speaker, there was a study done concerning the issue of security, and the rate of security and the sense of security in a home and in a family rises with the number of neighbors that they know. And that is also being reinforced by the insurance companies, who in fact give a reduction on your home owner's program if in fact you're a part of the Block Watch program, and in Surrey we have 774 of those. So thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Surrey Newton.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and I do appreciate the member from Panorama. At least there's a member who appreciate and acknowledge the issues of Surrey when it comes to crime, Mr. Speaker. And he mentioned so much is being done by so many different people out there. That is quite a contrast from what you were hearing from the Minister of Technology, who should know better, Mr. Speaker. And I appreciate the member from Panorama at least speaking the feelings and expressing the feelings of our communities from Surrey, Mr. Speaker. So thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, as the member from Panorama have said, police force and many of the community organizations, they are doing everything that they can, Mr. Speaker, but they can't do it alone. And whatever they have done with the resources that they have, it's not working. We have seen some successes, as the member had mentioned, but we still have 56 shootings last year, Mr. Speaker. And we just had another shooting couple nights ago, Mr. Speaker. And people see no end to it. And police is doing everything that they can. Arrests are being made. But then, Mr. Speaker, they don't have all the resources that they need. Even to, first to enforce, second, Mr. Speaker, to proceed their charges through prosecution. When you have 100 new police officers, you need to add more resources to prosecution branch as well. And I'm hearing that they're not getting either. We already have longer delays. So, Mr. Speaker, member from Eversford South is a co-author of a report, The Value of Resources in Solving Crimes. Our IHIT in BC, the solving rate is the lowest in Canada for years, not just last year, for years, according to that plan, Mr. Speaker. That is a member of the House, sitting member of the House right now. We are about 25% lower. We have a lower success rate in gang-related homicide, Mr. Speaker. And reason that he identified is lack of resources in wiretap, in surveillance, in investigation teams that they need, Mr. Speaker. Many times they requested those resources, they're denied, the reason given, not enough resources. So, Mr. Speaker, once the members of the government start to recognize that this is the key area where the resources are needed, Police need additional resources in catching those bad people, prosecuting their charges through the court system, Mr. Speaker. That will be a serious deterrent. When you have 70% of the people, bad people who know that if they shoot and kill somebody, 70% chances are in Surrey, in BC, that they will stay free because they will never get caught. Never mind charges, Mr. Speaker. And the reason, according to the report from the member from Eversford South, is because of lack of resources, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, member.
That is what is needed, and I hope the government members start
you.
to pay attention
Thank
to
you,
this.
member.
Thank you.